Damn dick drawings. How dare you draw wieners?
So we were talking to the construction guys about like having a little, night when all of our customers can come out and sign one of the beams that's going to go in, like the last one, and we'll have it like, all right, have it flipped the right way so that when people sign it, when that goes up, it'll be like legible in the building. And he's like, yeah, you're going to have certain so-and-so. He used a certain turn of phrase I probably shouldn't use because someone that's sitting amongst us likes to draw a certain anatomical part.
Phallic object.
Yeah,
somebody.
very artistically. I mean, it's art. It really is. So
Didn't like Da Vinci do
it's
it?
Tyler.
Why,
Yeah.
Da Vinci did it. Why can't I? I want to see like Da Vinci
I
drawing
think that was like
a dick.
But he was doing something with like the movement of man and stuff like
You know why you don't see any Da Vinci dick drawings?
The
Because
other
he
physics
did.
and
Because he didn't
performance.
have API bags to keep them in.
Actually, I wanted to bring this on stream to share.
I wouldn't.
Customer of ours
I was waiting for you to pull it out. Like, look at this, and be like,
brought in some ammunition. He came in and bought some. Show the camera. He brought in some API bags. That's a Winchester
The one
box.
just like tilted up so they all
Yeah.
fall out. Wow. So what happened here?
Corrosion.
smell the box.
From a fire?
Yeah.
Wow. Were they in an API bag?
They were not.
Ooh.
If you like your ammunition and you don't want it to look like that, get an API bag.
Mhm.
He actually bought some API bags.
I was just
and,
gonna
yeah,
say he actually walked out of here with some.
That's awesome. And they were probably pretty heavy because they were full of ammo. Did he like have a hard time lifting those or?
He's
He
a
was,
pretty
and then
thick
he said
dude.
to be on
And then okay, yeah.
I'm like, who are you laying it up for? The basketball's in the air. What
Told him
do
to, told him to take his ass to the gym. So he went over there to Main
Beyond
Street in
driven.
Leroy.
Fitness and performance and fitness.
Should
It works
be-
both ways.
and more
Yeah.
because they keep adding cooler and cooler things to that place. It's so cool.
Our friend Louie was over there on Monday
Doing a class,
doing his boxing class.
Saw that picture. It's very cool.
It was very cool. I ran into him outside. I was on my way in
Cheers.
from my workout as well.
Happy
Cheers,
Thursday,
fellas.
boys.
Salami and bacon.
Oh,
6 sponsor reads.
great job. All right. See ya.
That's all we got. We got paid. We're out of here.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. Get an API bag. I mean,
It just makes a ton of sense. You
You want the
spend a
greatest
lot of money.
microenvironment ever?
Yeah.
You get it from them.
like no one's to blame. You put it in an ammo can, you expect it to be fine. But it's just like a prime example of like
If you want
I
your
don't
stuff staying fresh.
Well, I also would have suggested that he take it out of that paperboard packaging if he was going to
Yeah.
put it in an
Yeah.
API bag, because that paperboard is going to hold on to a lot of. So for those of you who are using API bags, if you want to do it correctly, you don't want anything inside of your microenvironment that's going to hold on to moisture and stuff like that.
it'll be fine,
Because
but it's not as ideal.
it's just not going to be as well protected. I'm sure that the paperboard isn't going to hurt it, but
It does soak up moisture though, compared
100%.
to not having it.
100%. So just to eliminate all of the variables.
So
What else is going on, guys?
Yeah, what do we got going on?
You tell me. You had something planned. You said
I didn't have
you had
planned.
big news. Big news, Brandon.
Is that, am I known for that? We do a lot of careful planning and thoughtful rollout. I don't.
He'll throw it on us 5 minutes before we end.
Yeah. Usually you find out about it in the same post everybody else does.
My name's Brandon. I got big news. Big news, Brandon.
That's rude.
Could it have anything to do with your cool new hat that you got? The little hard
Oh, I
hat?
got big news.
Oh, baby, I was born this way.
That's not news.
Construction is going along swimmingly. We have got a lot of we, as if I've done anything over there, got in their way. Thompson, have the frame of the range building completely up. All the, girts and purlins and frames, all that. They're doing strapping now.
Not disease.
In like
Gerd.
it's gout. I think gout.
So I have iodine in my salt.
IEDs.
IEDs in my salt. Iodized salt.
I mean, shouldn't we all just get IUDs, like, to be safe?
Wait, you don't?
Wait.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
It's right
in the
plummeting
uterus.
down.
Cut that. So yeah, we are on track still. Construction is going great, and yeah, we're just super excited. Getting a little bit of cabin fever, a little bit,
Dusty cabin fever.
Dusty, the old dusty trail,
The old dusty store.
the old dusty shop. We're catching up on the second and third parts of our Kodak class.
Yep.
We got one this weekend for a bunch of folks, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
And we've got some tentative news regarding future Kodak classes that we've been working with the Kodak Center
This is the
on.
big news you were talking about. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, they were very happy with how the event went. We had a big debrief with their team. And again, huge shout out, Lori, Bob, Mike, and Stephanie over at the Kodak Center. Very great to work with, and they had no issue inviting us back. And we may or may not have not only one, but 2 dates in the future. One basically a year from now, and one a little bit closer than that. So,
Sweet.
yeah, I think we're going to be there. Unfortunately, for a while, I think as long as this law is in effect, I think we're going to have to do big classes like that to try to get, help to as many people as we can.
In order to meet the demand for pre-permit classes, I
Yeah.
think it's important to do a big event like that every once in a while. And it was very generous of you and the firing pin to do it for such a low cost for everybody. I thought that was really cool because that's always been one of our big talking points against any of those laws has been the financial barriers that it puts in place.
So what's nice about having that many people is you're allowed to make it more cost effective. When you have 20
Yeah.
people, it's expensive to run a class like that. So
Yeah.
you have
It works as a crowdfunding.
1,000 people and they're
Spread
paying a
out.
small amount. That
Right.
really
I really loved how many people came that already had their permits, had their permits for a long time.
Just
But
wanted to
so
get
much stuff has changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
New York City is always changing things up. It's just good to see people wanting to do the right thing and stay up on the laws. And, again, they shouldn't have to do that. There shouldn't be that many laws regarding carrying a gun. But
It's been interesting since I've been working here at the Pin with you guys for the past 4 or 5 years, almost 5 years now. It's been really interesting to see how the culture has seemed to shift, where a lot more people now have kind of bought into the idea that more information might be better, right? I used to think that people just didn't care about the education piece.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
which there's an
Really-
unfortunate number of people who don't.
There's still a plurality, right?
My
Of people
uncle's a
that
cop. He
don't
trained me.
necessarily.
Yeah.
why do we need to learn?
I've been hunting for years.
I was here-
go out every year and I kill a few deer. I don't need gun safety.
I was actually here doing a lesson earlier this week with a lady, and she really enjoyed it. We had a great time, and it was a good experience for her. And she had her boyfriend guy or husband, whatever, with her, and she made mention of him, he might want to take advantage of some training too. And he was like, "No, I'm fine. I know what I'm doing." And he's literally holding his target. And I know how big that range is.
Yeah.
I know how long it is. I'm looking at this dude's target, and he's like, "I know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "All right, man, cool, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
Glad you do, bud.
Happy for you."
I guess I wouldn't consider myself really an expert in anything. There's not a topic out there
Canoes.
that I would never say that though. I have so much to learn. I would never I guess humility classes would not be one of them, but I would never it's a crappy attitude. It's a crappy attitude to have about anything.
It's just it's weird. To me it's weird because I have been training a long time with guns and taking classes and shooting competitions, here and there when I can and doing stuff like that. And I know the limitations of my own capabilities, and I'm nowhere near as good as I want to be.
Sure.
And I don't think that I'm even as good. Like, I don't know that you could ever be as good as you need to be, right? Because you never know how good you're going to need to be until you actually are tested, right?
Sure.
And without
Hopefully
that,
never comes.
right? But like in the meantime, the journey to getting better is like never ending, right? Like it couldn't go on forever.
So we do have a few people saying hi, like John. Hi.
Hello.
So going back to API bags and ammo, is it best just to drop the ammo loose in the bag, like in an ammo can?
Yep.
What's the best?
Yeah. Chris was our friend that brought in this.
Oh. Cool.
Yes, that would be my recommendation.
Maybe
I would
maybe
say
you could use a
loose in the.
little sprinkling of metal defense.
Yeah, that's another great option.
Yeah. Little light seasoning of some lubricant.
We got a lot of people saying something like Joe. Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, Joe. This guy, Jeffrey, obviously a genius among men, says Brandon is an expert at being awesome and having sick drip, which
I think he's been in your presence for a couple minutes.
is that good?
It means it's really warm outside and your sweat is.
I am sweating. This hat, the hat is. I did not get the ventilated one because I'm stupid.
Oh, I think you meant to put it. I think you put the wrong letter. Sick.
Wait. So do you know why I got green?
Because you want to be Luigi.
They had a bunch of other colors.
Because genius is good green.
I guess, yeah.
You got sick drip.
So I was like looking up, like there's like a bunch of different colors, and it's not like the colors of the wristbands that kids would wear on the bus. That was a whole different thing when I was in school. The colors on these, so like the Brits, they have like, if you go over to, which why would you? Like we won that.
I would.
Don't need to, right?
I would
But,
never go
yeah.
to Europe, but could
They have like a uniform, like
Smash t-shirt.
when you go on a construction site, like if you see a guy in a white hard hat, like that's a supervisor. Or like orange is always going to be like a safety guy, or like blue is always an electrician or whatever, right? They have like a code. In the US, it's like, there's no
just get a hat.
whatever,
Just get
yeah.
a hard hat.
So green is either like typically like a safety inspector, which we're not claiming to be, or someone who's new at Greenhorn. So I was like, all right, that's me for sure. That's any of us on this construction site, anyways. So.
I know everything about that.
I know. Oh yeah.
After the conversation we just had,
Yeah.
you know everything.
Tyler
I know it all.
is about that
I
life.
need to learn construction. Company drills the holes for you.
Do you
You
know why it is?
assemble it. Y equals MC squared.
Mhm.
I've been there.
Boom.
I've seen them throw up. Like, I was gonna dismiss them for the rest of the job.
Test your
We got this.
hypothesis.
It's all here. Yeah.
I'm
I'm just kidding. Please don't. Madison, if you're watching,
Please don't leave us.
So
Please no.
we got the 3D renderings, which I don't know. If I send those to you again, maybe we can get those up later, Mister over there. So I sent the 3D renderings out to some of the guys, and Brian was like, "I forget, like, is Thompson doing the mezzanine, like the second floor, or are we doing the second floor?" And I was like, "Brian, like, you don't remember? Like, mezzanine school starts like Monday, like, bro. You gotta learn. I don't know how to do a mezzanine. I don't
You
know.
have floor one.
I don't even know how to spell.
I don't even know what
Yeah.
that is.
How do you spell mezzanine?
There's
I just use
there's
OpenAI.
definitely an M in there.
They
I don't think it's Z.
like the
It's,
floor is concrete. So,
The second floor?
oh yeah. So I think they like.
Brian, you gotta lift some concrete, buddy.
I think they make it like if you were gonna make like paper mache, like whatever,
Mhm.
I think they just like take a bunch of like cardboard and they just like smooth it all out, and then they pour the concrete,
You're gonna say like they
and then
get all
they
the
pull
cardboard
then
wet.
they pull it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
how I would do it.
So-
I've seen the videos.
Quickcrete. Yeah.
Yeah,
They better make a TikTok of our concrete pouring.
yeah.
Well, or at least Brandon's expert breakdown.
They do. Definitely, that'll hold. That's good. That's good. No, it definitely feels good to have some professionals, some guys that do big projects. They're doing a huge job over at RIT, I want to say, or no, U of R, sorry, right now.
Was it Ari?
RIT's
Maybe it is.
Well, RIT has they're putting in a nursing program in
Could
there.
be.
I don't know if they're doing anything with that.
Did they do
but-
Strong too?
Yeah.
National Museum of Play?
Yeah.
Strong National Museum of Play. Do they still play that ad?
Oh yeah.
'Cause it's
That's
same
still
song.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about that?
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
How about you? So,
Strong
How they
museum.
fucked us.
so yet again, us trying to build bridges and help the community and
Fire
just
sauce?
spread safety knowledge, right? We recently, we were members like way back, like before COVID, of the Museum of Play.
Not we, but like.
Sorry, like me and my family.
Yeah.
The whole shop used to
Me and
go.
Tyler would go.
Yeah.
You said you wouldn't sit there with on Sesame Street with me?
I went to Wegmans.
You know how many times I've been to freaking the Sesame Street
Oh my
exhibit
God.
over there?
So we go there,
Nieces and nephews and shit.
we go upstairs, and they have video games all over that feature firearms. Obviously, there's a giant Halo statue, and the Master Chief's running like with his rifle or whatever his, I don't remember the Halo, but like his blaster or whatever, right? And whatever it was, yeah. So firearms are featured all over the place, and there's like right next to some, alien shooter video game. There's a sign, and it says, "Is gunplay okay?" And I'm reading it, expecting them to basically say, no, it's not. But the sign actually was like, research has shown, and it goes into like picking up a stick and aiming it at fake bad guys, and being a little kid and playing with like firearms is totally normal, and tons of studies have showed like doesn't harm our society at all, whatever, right? So like, don't worry, like let your kids play video games with guns in them, which is like half of the video games in that place.
Huge segment.
I won't even play a video game. Listen.
So I wrote an email and I was like, hey, I'm with the firing pin. We want to get in front of, as many people as we can, spread safety awareness, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I see some room here for some type of sponsorship where we contribute money, obviously. We pay to have, like some signs made, some awareness raised, where like my thoughts were, you're talking about playing with firearms. So you've got like Nerf guns, you've got airsoft guns, you've got whatever. So maybe you put some signs up that like, hey, it's okay to play with like toy guns, but like you should still treat them as real guns, or just, maybe here's how you tell a real gun versus a toy gun, or here's just a poster with like the basic rules of gun safety.
But there has to be some overlap between what we do and the messaging that they're trying to
Yeah,
present,
like,
right?
hey, if you find dad's real gun, like the stop, tell an adult, like, stop, don't touch, tell an adult, get away, whatever it is. Yeah. So I emailed that over, and just immediately, like the next day, they fired back, and they were like, well, we're a school, so we can't do any gun education at all on premises. Can't happen. And I was like, let me like rephrase. Like, I feel like you like, I don't want to come to your school and teach gun safety. Like, I'm not going to bring a gun.
Right.
Here's the muzzle, kids. Like,
I want a poster.
I want to just elaborate on stuff you're already doing. And you're already acknowledging and discussing these topics.
Just expand.
Let's delve in
on
deeper.
it. Yeah.
And I want to fund that. I want to pay for it. And it can even be anonymous, honestly, like, which is the same as what I did with WXXI and like advertising with like NPR or whatever. I was like, we don't even need to be name dropped, so that there's not even like that conflict of interest of like, don't drink and
gun
drive,
safety.
sponsored to you by Bush.
I just want gun safety.
Yes, I just want that message out there, and like we will tell people,
Yeah, we know it's us.
like we know it's us, right? Like, hey, that ad strong, that's us. But anyways, they were like, oh, we brought that to the attention of our like curator, basically. And I don't even think they knew that sign was there, because now that sign's going to be removed and the whole area is going to be redone.
Really?
Yeah.
So good job, Brandon.
So way to go. Yeah. So now they're not even going to acknowledge
way to
that
rat us all
play
out.
is good. Yeah. It just shows that uphill battle that we're always facing, where
Are we doing the whole thing?
like I don't agree. I can, I guess, understand where that side of the argument could come from. I don't agree with them, and I don't agree with their methods of trying to control us. But I don't see how you could be against
Gun
safety
Literally.
side of it. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think they have a good argument.
Well, it's a school, and everybody should be ignorant about firearms until.
Yeah, so God forbid they should be engaging in any education about something that might help people be safer in their community. That would be terrible.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out soon.
Right, and that's totally fine. I don't know. And say like my issue with like WXXI, it's like public broadcasting, presumably like in some ways funded by tax dollars, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an NPR. That's how that works,
Viewers
right?
like you.
And well, but I am a supporter because I do like their journalism that they do. Like they're the only, I feel like they're the only like investigative, non like Sinclair owned, journalists left in town. But it is disheartening that they'll do like issues upon issues featuring bars. They've got no problem promoting like alcohol, right? That's a legal thing that like
Tears people and families' lives.
I mean, if you reduced it to like on paper, like there's really no like I'm obviously not a prohibitionist or a teetotaler or whatever they were called, but like give me an actual societal plus that alcohol brings. Like,
Right.
I don't think the government should ban us from enjoying it, but like at least with a firearm, you can offer the element of like, yeah, it's protecting my family. Like I live where it takes a half hour for the sheriff to come, and there's that, and I enjoy it, and there's a whole sports side of it. I was just in Alexander. We've been posting about their rifle team. Like, so it's hard when there's this constant attack on our side of it because how many people die, but like how many people die from DUIs and alcohol abuse.
Well, that's different. You can't look at that statistic.
right.
Thanks, Strong.
Yeah.
National Museum of Clay.
So I don't know. Sometimes I don't like putting that shit out there because I don't want people to like review bash them or whatever for
Right,
this.
yeah.
But like
But do it.
I do want people to know who was like
Look
on our side and who's
Yeah.
and I don't think having them have some signs up is saying that they're pro firearm.
No.
It's-
It literally,
safety.
you said it had statistically.
It was like,
showed
yeah,
it.
like research has shown
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So I want to know what that research.
I took a picture of the sign. We can look it up.
Yeah.
They listed a few things. So we have a question. Have the background checks gotten any better?
They've maintained.
Yeah.
They maintained. They haven't been bad. Actually, got our first appeal that went
Mhm.
through. That was a successful appeal.
And it was a proceed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone, this happens. People have their name that's very similar to someone else's name that happens to be similar to other stuff, and they get flagged. And someone says no, and the guy says this can't be me, or the girl says this can't be me, and it worked. Normally with the FBI side of stuff, you have to do a bunch of paperwork and things like that. Apparently, it wasn't flagged on the federal side. The state denied him.
Hmm.
So that basically seals the fact that you might be doing the background check, but the state still makes that ultimate decision.
Yeah.
Which we were thinking would be a thing to start with.
Yeah.
It didn't even have anything to do with him in the state, let alone being him to start with. So that got overturned. But to answer your question, it's been kind of 50-50. I've been seeing more issues on people getting ammo than I have with people getting firearms. It's because this is an unprecedented thing that we've seen people doing background checks on ammo now. And hopefully with whatever's going on in California, what we know is going on in California, will set precedents for other states like us that are in the same situation.
Saint Benitez, please help us.
Yes, God bless. There you are.
There he is. I don't know if anybody can see him.
Go with his was faithful. But yes, to answer your question, it's not good, but it's not horrible. I guess is 50-50. You don't know until you run it
Yeah.
if it's going to be bad or not. And the bad part means you might not leave with your ammo that day, and you have to wait 3 days, or best case scenario, 24 hours.
Mhm.
Or worst case scenario, you leave and it comes back 15 minutes later. And then when you
Yeah,
call you and
that's the
you
worst.
pull a Yui and
Yeah.
we hear the car's dog wheels squealing.
So couple comments. John says that even with Nerf guns, he mentions to like his kids and kids in town and stuff. Like you got to be safe with the like. Yeah, we're playing with the guns, but like they are still.
Yeah, it's a good
You
time
know.
to teach them like finger is not on the trigger
Mhm.
until you're ready to use it. You're pointing in a safe direction at all times. Like you can get that in their head early.
You do that with power tools too, right?
Honestly,
I'm not the only one,
100%.
right?
I do that with anything that I physically am holding.
If it's remotely gun shaped, even
Yeah.
a staple gun.
TV
I find
remotes, my
finger
thumb is
weird.
not anywhere near it until I'm ready to change.
That's probably a good policy.
Threats. And then Joe says they always claim how dangerous guns are, but they always fight when people try to push gun safety. Which,
Yep.
yeah, we've run into that. Luckily, we found a great partner with the Kodak Center. But there are certainly other venues and other opportunities that we want to push and just get, safety. The guns are out there. I did an interview leading up to the Kodak Center, and that was one of like he had asked a question about, something about like, okay, you can be pro or anti-gun, or like you could be committed to never buy a gun, but like there are so many, like what have they sold? Like 300 million background checks just since they started doing background checks. So since like 98, there's been at least that many guns sold, and you can buy more than one gun on background check.
A minimum of 3 million firearms.
And
And
that's
then
just like what's going through the government.
In most states, right, you don't need to do one person to person. So that's just, I would say kind of on like new guns, because otherwise, if it was an old gun, you would just
Taco
trade
Bell
it.
sale.
Yeah.
Like,
Think about how many P80s are out there. Like they find P80s all the time.
Mm-hmm.
3D printer exists and the CNC exists, so people could just be making them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gun control debate is over. So.
Yeah, there is no control.
There is no control. There is only guns.
It really is. We are getting into a tipping point where we're going to have, in this state, you cannot make your own firearm. Like,
And they're trying to say
legally.
you can't have any of the tools to make your own firearm.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm getting at is you either like believe in freedom, basically, and have laws against crimes where there's like a victim, right? Or you just kind of go, I hate to drop the F word, like fascist style, where
you're going.
where now it's like, now we're banning information and ideas and sharing of those things. And,
Education.
sure, could you use a 3D printer to print, whatever? Like, yeah, sure. Just like you could use a vehicle to do whatever.
Or a
Or,
pressure cooker.
Until they ban
whatever.
3D printers, and then you can't buy those anymore.
Yeah.
Or until you need a retinal scan to use a drill press, or until you
Right,
need
right.
like
Yeah.
so you need to provide
your social credit score is too low.
right?
Yeah.
In order to be able to buy a plunge router.
I'm for the social credit score. I only want to deal with you if you're like high 800s on the social score. I want to deal with anybody sub 800.
Oh, you give me a funny look.
We're talking
Downvote.
here, though.
It's the government.
Yeah,
Uh,
it bees like that.
Owen says, "Hi guys, hope you're doing well." We are for now.
How much
Until
Things-
it's getting louder.
Yeah, the helicopter's getting closer.
They-
more than one.
They definitely do fly right overhead all
Yeah.
the time.
Which makes sense. That's a double prop too.
Pick that up.
They're just trying to desensitize you.
Open the window.
You can hear.
Josiah's got it in his headphones.
It's like you can feel it.
Mm. So
Can you feel it? Let us know in the comments.
They got their bass turned up. Like
Guns are bad.
in the old shop, it would rattle the window cages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. When they would fly,
Like a regular Mercy flight or whatever wouldn't do it, but a Chinook, you
when they
knew.
fly 3 deep.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we had our night vision goggles. We could look at them.
Speaking of, I don't have any. I don't know if you guys do or have even read about them. The Jerry 14/31.
Those are the new Chinese ones.
Ah, okay.
New to the market, so.
I'd give it a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna get nuts. The technology has come so far, even just in 2 or 3 years.
Well, what's crazy is like the technology that we finally have access to.
Mhm.
Like there's
Yeah, that new hollow sun laser with like the illuminator that's basically
it's
full power.
Yeah, like we
Or how about the Holosun with the infrared?
was
the
it
pistol?
Glover had that in Predator, the second Predator, didn't he? With his little
Yeah, man, it's
The
getting
Holosun pistol sight was
wild out there.
like the Holosun pistol sight where you had the dot on the pistol and the camera. On the
Yes,
light
yeah.
would be-
also China.
Yeah.
I hate to support them, but
China.
But
I love Holosun. It's hard. It's hard not
I think
to.
it's
Your own government. So,
Yeah, if the government wants to sell it to me for cheap,
Yeah.
I got to go support the other government.
Yeah, just sell me an E-Cody, right? Isn't that what they're called? Like the FLIR thermal overlay in the night vision.
one of the questions we got.
Other than Jim saying that the Chinook's probably going to fly over him in a couple of minutes, nothing.
Let us know when it gets to you.
Yeah. Do a Chinook tracker, Santa tracker.
I think I'm gonna not be happy.
Flight radar TFP style.
They would definitely hate that.
So obviously I know SHOT Show was like a few weeks ago, but I feel like there's still some like rumblings, or there's still, we're still like decompressing. I feel like kind of as an industry. What was like the coolest thing you took away from this year's SHOT Show that you saw?
Geisley AK trigger. The $300 AK trigger. Holosun kills it every year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get the pistol IR, but just have the ability to have a pistol IR is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm impressed by their new rifle illuminator, their IR with the visible laser. I think that is it the Iris? Iris? Is that the Holosun one? I think it's called.
I know like the PID is their weapon light. The PLIR, I think
Something.
something
Like that.
something.
Yeah.
Tyler, look that up.
I'm excited to see the Hudson reborn.
I'm excited
That'll be
about.
cool.
I think that is definitely one of my most. Well, actually, no. You know what I'm the most excited about is some importing company in Malaysia is bringing us to the FNC.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
that is, and the Beretta TM, their little pistola subgun they had, but we get an FNC that's not FN prices.
Yes, please.
I'm the most excited about that. I think.
Let's talk about the new machine gun we bought.
Go ahead.
249?
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought one.
We got two.
From Ohio Ordnance, right?
So we get two with the paratrooper.
Ohio's like we don't know 249. You mean the 240?
Oh, they don't? I thought they
Yeah,
did.
no, they don't. Ohio's like that's new.
Let's just go for an L2.
They introduced was it Ohio that announced the Reaper?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Then the three and the their Magnum caliber.
I do not want to feed belt fed 338.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Crowdfund us so we can
Did
get
look
machine
cool.
guns.
Yeah, we want.
All right, Jeff asked. So Jim says, approaching now, windows rattling. LOL. Jeffrey asks, since we're all drinking Jenny, what's your favorite non-standard Jenny? Like Kolsch,
Not
I-
like
you know,
their limited stuff.
Citra. Yeah, like
Their keg tree ale. They have that only at their store, only at their area when they do the keg tree lighting. And it's only like there for a week and a half. It is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. I'm not one for like flavored stuff, but it's cinnamon to a point where it's not overpowering. They do a little cinnamon stick inside of it. Super fun. If you guys if you don't get a chance to go to the keg tree lighting next year, make a point to go. Look at me on the what is it? What's the big one from Rochester? Marie and I were on the newspaper.
Aw.
Democrat and Chronicle.
Yeah, the DNC. We were on that
Ooh.
because I saw the cameras were going. I'm like, we gotta go. We ran like
Yeah, I just like Kolsch.
Cole's was pretty good.
Kolsch
stuff.
is good,
Yeah.
but the Christmas trio,
Summertime.
the keg trio is my hands down my favorite.
Jenny.
I love me some river beer, man.
Mm-hmm.
I
But-
do too.
but
I don't know why.
But cream ale, I think cream ale is probably my favorite thing that's ever been created.
I just hope that the intake is like upriver from where those sewage discharges happen.
You know where they're
Did
pulling.
you hear
the
about that?
wa- But you know where the water is being pulled from for these though.
Hemlock Lake.
Yeah, so it's like actually like
It's actually
clean.
good.
Like no one's allowed to go in that water. But yeah, about all the crap and literal shit that's going into
The
the.
reservoir.
Rochester has these like the stormwater system, and they have these giant, like probably like 8 foot or 10 foot across, like hatches that are weighted so that like under normal usage the water just keeps flowing and it flows to like a treatment plant and then it just flows out like into Lake Ontario. But like last week when it was like raining and the snow was all melting for like a week straight, it gets overwhelmed, and once the sewage gets overwhelmingly enough
That's
that it just opens. It's just weighted enough so that like, okay, enough poop pressure coming out, and it just and just into the creek. And
I like to think of
Yeah.
parts.
basically the city is sharding
Into the Genesee River.
Yeah.
Dan has,
But, like-
Dan has an app on his phone because he does he's the engineer for that.
Sure.
stuff. And like whenever it rains, he'll like send me a
It'll,
screenshot.
like-
And he'll be like, look how many gallons we're doing right now.
Oh,
It's insane, like per second, per minute, and like how much Is
I was
that
trying to
up
find
ahead?
it. There's like a, from the old, what is it, like the Rochester Subway blog, I want to say it was.
Mm.
There's like you used to do a tour of it under like very dry summer conditions.
Right.
These tunnels are big enough. Like
By the brew house?
there might be some over there. There's a map. I'll have to find it someday.
Is it by the waterfall?
I don't
wanna
know
go
if it's
to those
by
things.
the waterfall. I
They
feel like
can't
it's up
be
in like
arcade.
Irondequoit
Okay.
area or that kind of over there. But like these tunnels are big enough. When they do the tour, you're driving in a Unimog, like a Mercedes, like troop transport 5-ton. Like they drive the whole thing through the tunnel. Like that's how big they are. It's crazy. Yeah, massive.
They're trying to bring those back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Unimog,
The tours.
the tours.
Close the window.
Cream ale rum.
First of all,
that's as
my
does
name?
the citrus
Close that
pills.
window.
Citra Pills, that's a good one.
What do you guys think about the Canuck? Janique? You say Canuck? I say Canuck.
Shiny.
Say Janique. They wanted it spelled Janique, they would have used a J somewhere or a G.
Did they come out with the new one?
Is there a TTI?
Terra Tactical.
The Terran Tactical one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm upset by that because I feel like Canik Janique, the Century Arms pistol from Turkey, has been an underdog for so long, and I think Terran knew that, and he just wanted to get his grubby little mitts on
I
it.
don't love Terran.
I know he's gross, but now everyone's gonna think, oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese, and now the prices of that gun is gonna go up substantially, and it's not gonna be special anymore.
He's like only cool because of John Wick, right? And like training Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is cool.
Keanu Reeves,
Keanu Reeves
cool,
is
so,
cool.
yeah.
Keanu Reeves is very cool.
But I'm saying, why is Terran Tactical cool? I mean, I know he was a competitive shooter, obviously. And he is good.
He's done it well for himself in the competition shooting realm.
Before those movies, he did do the race, like the Pit Viper and the Game Master and Match Master and stuff. He did make those handguns, but then I think when those movies came out, he approached them and was like,
And like all those
Thing.
like sexual allegations that came out against him, which I can totally like. Oh, being in his presence, you're like, yeah, those are probably all
first
true.
of all, it takes two to tango, and
Unless it doesn't.
who he surrounds himself with. Did you see the Facebook, not Facebook, the Instagram live video that they did?
No.
So someone just went on whatever reels or whatever live you can do on Instagram during SHOT Show, and it was like debauchery. It was like, yeah, it was not. It was
Got the SHOT Show ick.
yeah, like you were watching it happen, and everyone's like commenting like, what is this? Like, what are you guys like? Why are you posting this right now?
My
Uh,
life.
How do we feel about the Canik? They're nice.
Get
They
a
were-
Rival S.
They were what's that?
Get a Rival S.
Yeah, hey, find one. Find one for
Don't
him.
get the Terran.
Yeah, don't support him. Don't do
What
it.
was the one that they? What was the one?
There's
The
nothing.
Combat Elite they did with salient arms.
Yep.
With the really nice flat triggers. and
There's
the-
nothing that Terran has added that makes the Canik any better than it already is at the price point that is affordable for anyone that wants to get into it.
If I was going to spend too much money on a Canik, I would spend too much money on the Combat Elite or whichever one.
Yeah.
Salient arms
Yep,
one.
the Salient Arms one is excellent. Or their Mete,
Yeah, that's
The meaty.
the meaty McNine. Yeah.
I wish they wouldn't have named it that. That's because nobody actually knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And it's not an acronym. I think it's like I think that's where you go. Like it's Turkish. I think it stands for divine
To eat.
right.
Yeah, like food. Meaty.
Mate,
Meaty.
he's insulted the whole country.
They're like,
Just
yeah,
like
the kid in
Erdogan
the
is
jacket
like-
seems to be doing okay, but everyone's like,
Yeah,
what's this
Erdogan's
meaty
mad.
Get it though. We'd rather hear me talking out of a handgun.
Canik, I know you're watching.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us and give
If you
some
want us to
clarity.
say the right stuff, yeah.
I will only say the wrong name. No.
Is that what we do? Like we start holding our advertisers hostage? Like, API, we'll keep saying that you can put your baby's formula in the bag.
To,
Just
to an
pour it
audience of
right
this
in,
size,
yeah.
But they're good
Right.
to us. So
All
no.
16 people.
Clock. Clock 19. Glock, sponsor us. We'll stop talking about your horse cone.
never.
I don't know if they want us to stop.
Yeah. How much of that do you think we sold for them? Should we get a commission?
John said those people have to be scared to death.
As are all of you.
I pulled a little sneaky on the Freedom Weekend poster that I made by putting like all last year's sponsors on it again, so they would feel guilty. Like, oh, we're already on the poster. I guess we have to donate.
Now that she said
That's
it,
brilliant.
live, yeah.
Well, they're on there. They've been on there.
Well
yeah.
played.
Where's my
Although RPO did already sponsor, so we should give them a shout
So did
out.
Mitch.
Diamond sponsor, right?
So did
And
API.
API is a gold sponsor, right?
RPO is awesome. I love
Yeah.
those. I still love those guys.
We
Yeah. Right on that, huh?
You gotta put
So
it-
Brian says, however you say it, meet, mete means brave in Turkish.
Yeah, I see. I knew
You
it.
no,
It-
you said McDonald's.
I did not.
I heard.
Wow.
You
Roll
said
the tapes
you
back.
said meaty
Roll it
McNine,
back.
and I said no, it's mete, and I'm pretty sure it means like divine or something.
Said something like billions and billions served.
Billions served.
The Golden Arch.
Do you still think there are billions? Do you think?
Brian, how did you know that? Did you Google that? How did you know that? In Turkish?
Maybe he's yeah, Brian.
Wait,
Brian's a sharp hand.
depends on what Brian.
How many cheeseburgers do you think McDonald's?
Brian
is up
Turkmenistan. Like, what's the most like Turkish name? Like, I don't know. Like any Turkey names? Hillshire. No, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry. That's a bad joke.
It's
That was good, right?
Jesus.
good job.
What do you think? What do you think? It's giving me up to 2007.
What?
How many Big Macs do you think McDonald's has sold in 2024? Up until 2024.
First of all, it's big mayo.
I'm not sure, man. 15 billion. I don't know.
Their last number is given in 2007, which is 560 million.
So yeah, we're.
I remember
we're
when they
definitely at
updated
billions.
the sign though, and it said billions and billions.
But it's that Big Mac or cheeseburgers because I think
I said
Royale with
specifically
cheese.
Big
Because-
Macs.
Yeah, number A, you said specifically Big Macs. Number 2, if they've served 500 million Big Macs, then it would stand to reason that they have absolutely served billions of people.
Especially if that was
Because a lot of people eat fillets of fish and
Wait.
or chicken
The McRib.
nuggets
They're
and
serving
or
us-
yeah. You know when people go for a McRib when they
Is that what
bring
the
them back
McRib-
every.
They're serving as people.
That was what I said.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait a
I didn't say you know
Is that
people
what the
go
McRib is
into
making?
a
Do
McRib.
they have an impossible menu? 'Cause if they have
I said, you know how
impossible,
many people go for a McRib?
impossible food, impossible burger is human. Look it up.
Soylent Green.
that's why you got to go to Burger King for the real.
Hell yeah, you get some long pork.
But
Dude. When you tell me that Bill Gates wants to serve me
Okay.
human flesh, I'm not even a little surprised. I'm not even going to do the fact. I'm not even going to fact check that.
No, yeah, that
the
is fact.
gospel right
I
now.
believe it.
Now I totally believe that Bill Gates is trying to feed me human flesh.
well, it does have fewer carbs. I mean, they're like whatever. They're like, oh well. I mean,
How many calories do you think are eating a human?
if,
Whoa, I don't know. If you
since
can
they've
ask
already
ChatGPT that-
they've
do
already
that,
like
but-
gotten the first dose of microplastics, and they've like digested it and reduced it.
So now
So, like, it's actually healthier.
Now it's nanoplastics.
I love credit cards.
They're down
Oh
to-
my gosh. Jim says he saw Smith & Wesson now has a full frame 22 Magnum pistol. Standard is a 30 round mag, obviously,
Mhm.
but they don't have a 10 rounder listed yet.
The M&P 22 mag
Yeah.
and the M&P 57 and their threaded barrels, which is stupid because the barrel itself is not threaded. It's a sleeve over the barrel because the barrel itself is rotary. So yeah,
Really cool.
it's a fascinating, but it's fucking threaded.
Brian says he wanted to look up what I still don't know how to pronounce it. Mete. He wanted to look it up so that he would know what he was talking about, like when he went into a gun shop. But doesn't help him. None of us know how to pronounce the gun or the name of it.
Yeah, what do you want? One of those Caddicks? All right.
You got one of those turkey meats? All right. Hold the provolone.
If you wanted any other gun shop, I'd be like, it's not made in the U.S. Get out of
What are you
here.
typing over there?
Okay, so
Working on his homework?
ChatGPT wouldn't let me look up how
Oh
many
my
calories
God.
it would be to eat a human. So I had to phrase
Probably
it.
for a good reason.
Yeah, it's probably that's why are you asking me this, sir? So I have to like phrase like, okay, what about a 6-foot pig that weighs 230? Because we're similar, you know. Long pork.
Mm-hmm.
It's not giving me a straight answer.
Well, it learns you, so why would it give you a
I got it from you.
Can we get a little drum set? I take drum lessons, and that's the only thing I want to learn.
That's all you learn.
Like,
know,
John Canale. Doesn't
I was
John
gonna say
Canale do that?
Joe says I got put onto a list. Buddy, I've been on
Oh,
the
man.
list.
You are the list.
Yeah, the list. was
Look at
created.
me.
I'm reinforcing the list.
It's the reason that lists were invented.
Steve Buscemi and what Mr. Deeds.
Raw PD.
Mete. It's Mete.
Okay.
I still like.
I believe
Meaty.
you.
I'm just gonna say Meaty McNine still. That's like the shop's.
Meaty McNine.
That's the shop's name, and that's.
You know who came up with that? Ryan.
Oh, you know.
You still want to use him?
All right, stream's over.
Oh man, what do we got coming up? What's the next? What month is it? Even February?
It's February, yeah.
What do we got? Are we doing anything for Valentine's Day? It's on Tuesday, right?
You made that joke about me, so no, not anymore.
It's Wednesday, isn't it?
My dude,
It's on Wednesday.
it's Thursday.
Yeah, was it the 14th, 16th?
It's the 14th. It's
Yeah.
the 14th.
It's Wednesdays, my dude.
Wednesday, my dudes.
So
It's not. It's actually Thursday. I know. I look forward to every Thursday night.
I would love to do something for Valentine's Day.
It's definitely on Wednesday.
The limited space.
What should we do on Valentine's Day?
Yes, let us know.
What do you want to do on Valentine's Day at the shop? I don't want to hear all of your desires.
Baby. If you slip us a 20, we will turn the lights off in the range, and you can do.
Hopefully nothing. 'Cause
Yeah, lead. Lead exposure.
that's disturbing.
Keep your clothes
You
on.
thought chlamydia was bad. Try lidosis.
I don't think it's a real medical
Is that like-
condition.
Lidosis?
Is it?
That's 100%
Thinking
what lead
it's
poisoning's called.
like
Is it
doing it on the
called
beach, like you think it's gonna
Yeah.
be so fun, but it's just sandy. It just gets everywhere.
Pulmonary lidosis. Yeah, any kind of lidosis. It's
Well, I got my own chat.
Gives
GPT
one
right over there.
gives one presentation at Strong once. He thinks it's Is that what you brought that cane in today? You walked
Yep.
around. I saw you.
What cane?
Just making a house joke. House MD.
Explain your joke.
He's a doctor.
Because remember that time we forced someone to explain their joke? It went terribly. We may have been at a bar and we were making a joke about the bathroom situation at the bar because
Because it was
just-
like
it was just like it says like this bathroom has urinals, this bathroom doesn't have urinals, and we were just like
just figure it out.
Tyler and I were like, and like two other people at the bar were like, like you got that's the one for you guys, and then I was like, what does that mean? It's completely deadpan. Like, what do you mean by that? And they were like, that's what I thought.
Yeah, people are.
Then they kicked us out. No, I'm just kidding. What is our policy on high cap mags, standard cap mags, and law enforcement credentials? Like if you just work a job,
Okay.
you get to have more stuff than anybody else, right? That's how it works.
No, as of the first of this year, we have decided as a team that, albeit yes, you may think you'd be able to, but we as a store and a business entity have determined that if you are getting this for your personal fun time, playtime use, you will not be able to have something that a standard civilian cannot have unless you can prove that the agency that you are working for is allowing you to have it for on-the-job use only, and the agency is purchasing it for you.
So wait, what if I'm a corrections officer and I want to buy a suppressor?
Yeah, I mean,
then
it's
I guess go to a place that's willing to do that.
yeah.
We've had that before.
hmm
We've had people come in here and like,
A very long time ago, and I was not part of that decision.
no, I didn't.
But
I don't think it actually even went
Yeah, it was just-
down or anything. I'm just
It's-
saying, like in general, like we all know that there are people out there that think that their rules should be.
It's definitely
different, right?
something that we used to do it like a lot of shops did, really fast and loose. And you show me a badge and you can have whatever you want, because that is
The way that it's
that was
written
kind of the
and-
standard for a long time. And then we I'm not making it sound like we're like victims or crybabies or whatever, but we would get, I don't want to say some abuse, but a little bit of not the best treatment by some people who I mean, yeah, is it an important job? Of course it is, but it is still a job, and there are still rules. And we've talked to many like legally smart people, lawyers, and former officials in different capacities, things like that, just to get their opinion on things. And I don't know, it sounds like a dumb comparison, but I think it makes a lot of sense, really. Like if you are a police officer, you're a corrections officer, whatever, you could, anybody could go out and buy an old cop car, right? Like anybody could just buy one of those. And you, I guess, could buy red lights and put it on there and sirens and all the stuff. But you still can't like go out and just pull people over with it. Like you can't go run code, like run through a red light because you want to. Because when you're in the course of your duties, of course you can.
You should be able to.
You worked for the ambulance for a long
a
time.
little bit, yeah.
Like if you guys were just
Fire and
hungry,
everything.
like if you guys were just hungry and wanted to run through town, lights and sirens, like even when you're like on shift.
We did all no. No.
Has that ever happened? I'm sure it has, but
It was-
legal, like
yeah,
if you crashed into somebody, like if you T-boned somebody, like you're not covered by that because like you weren't responding to a call,
really
right?
And
Like-
with stuff for like things change, different people's SOPs change.
Mhm.
But in the volunteer base, when I was with fire department, even if it was like obviously if it's serious enough, we're going to go as fast as we can. But you still have to abide by like there's a light that's blatantly red. You can't just blow through it because
Sure.
You gotta like
you still
slow.
have to still look. But
Yeah,
and you see those videos of people crashing. If you pay attention to the video, red, of course, oncoming traffic. That's how people die.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You gotta be
But-
smart.
You don't
But yeah.
create more of
No,
a problem
yeah,
going to an emergency.
I guess going, circling back, we are really taking like the same stance that Barrett took back in, I think it was the 90s. California banned the 50 BMG cartridge from, I think, just new sales. I think if you had one back then, you could keep it. But and so Barrett said, all right, well, if the citizens can't own it, then neither can law enforcement agencies. And it's something we struggle with. We really do. Because obviously we're a business entity. So like when departments come to us, we do want our professionals armed with the tools that we should all be able to own.
We're selling to a department. Like if department
Right.
letterhead is department owned, that's fine. But like individual, like John
Right.
Smith,
Right.
RPD can't come in. Hey,
Right.
my
And
off-duty gun is a 365. And
It's one thing. There are small departments where they don't have the budget to buy good equipment. So if an officer or deputy or whoever is like, hey, like I'm willing to buy this item, and like, yeah, it does
Can I
belong
use
to
it
the
for my-
department.
right.
And like, yeah, if you are actually allowed to do that and the chief or whoever signs off on it, then sure, like that's different. But there is a very like entitled attitude, I will admit,
unfortunately,
like I don't want to speak, maybe you can speak to this more, but like there's veterans that we see too, which obviously like thank you endlessly for your service. But there are some that get like offended that we don't have the veterans discount or whatever. They feel entitled to that everywhere they go instead of, like, hey, we happen to or we don't, like our prices are low for everybody. We just can't, like that particular one, like we do a lot for veterans. That's just not one of the things we can offer.
That kind of annoys me in a way. Like, I don't know, man. I see it from both sides, right? Because I know dudes that really gave a lot in terms of like how they come home from like deployments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of guys that have been through the ringer, obviously lost a gang of my friends to suicide and different stuff like that. I know guys that have, you know, permanent disabilities and disfigurements and whatever else. So like for those guys, like, yeah, man, like it's a little bit different, I think. But for me, like, I did a job for like 8 years and I had a really good time doing that job and I would do it again. But at the same time, like, it doesn't really make me special or like I try not to hold myself in any different regard or you know what I mean, in any different esteem than I would hold anybody else just because I did a job for a period of time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like ultimately we all do jobs.
Yeah.
Some are better than others and like that was a job I feel really fortunate to do. So I almost look at it from my personal perspective from the opposite where like I feel like I got more than I gave in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, from my service, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't look at it as like service in the sense of like, you know, I did a lot. Like I got paid. I did a job. My family had health insurance. Win-win. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm certainly one of those too. I ask, you know, when I'm someplace, I'll ask for a discount or I'll ask for like I never get offended by someone asking, but then sometimes their reaction to
I don't even ask anymore. Like I used to ask just because I like to save money, but at a certain point in time, I just felt weird about asking.
Sure.
And I know some dudes that are like almost like professional veterans.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like their whole shtick is like, hey, I used to do a job back in the day, but now I'm all fucked up and like somebody should feel badly for me. And then I know some guys that like, yeah, they went through it, but you would never know necessarily. And I know some other people that, you know, they don't even talk about it. Like it doesn't even like they would rather forget about the fact that they even signed that contract because like it wasn't the life that they wanted or it wasn't what they thought or they feel like they were lied to. Like, how many of us feel like going into the war on terror, like we didn't have all the information that we should, right? Or we had bad information or like we acted on, you know, propaganda or whatever.
It sucks how that has all come out.
Yeah, but I mean, it does suck, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man, it's complicated. Because there's always going to be wars.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, people are always going to, there's always going to be
I
wars.
just want 30 days. Just 30 days, no war.
If everyone had just listened to that one John Lennon song, Imagine.
Ooh,
Then
yeah,
we just wouldn't. Imagine if we didn't do it.
they would have imagined.
Well, they did. They're like, but then we wouldn't have as much info.
Then they shot that dude in the face. Or the back. I don't know where they shot him.
Brought to you by Charter Art.
In the head. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Jesus. But yeah, I don't want to hammer it home too bad, but we'll be making a post about it. We'll make sure it's on our website, but we just
This is just
we had to draw a
this-
line.
And
Yeah.
for the viewers, if they're confused by like where this all came from, it's just been questions that we've had over a course of time, and it's like we decided it's like, okay, we've had enough people asking about it. We'll make a decision about it.
When civilians
And
can do it.
It is one of those things, obviously, yeah, like we believe in it from that perspective of like if we can't own it, then nobody should be able to own it. And if you really have to have it, then you'll put through the request of like, there's a lot of work, like for the police department to actually buy something through us. Like it's got to go through the town board and the this and the that and purchasing and whatever. So it's like, you know, that money is going to get spent. You know, they're going to buy a squad car. Like they're going to do that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, but I don't
when
want.
it comes down to the personal side,
Chris
you know,
Rescue.
we had to, and I hope people get angry at the legislators because again, I truly don't think that it would be legal either. There's a lot of shops, like I said, kind of playing it fast and loose where, oh, well, like I am a cop, so I can own whatever I want. And it's like, well, like you can own what you have, like while you're on duty. And I know a lot of them will say, well, I'm always on duty. And again, I would argue that that's not how it works, I guess. Like, I don't know.
If that was the case, then they'd be taking their kids on calls all the time. You
Yeah,
know,
they'd run every.
they'd be like
on
at
their way home.
they'd be like at the grocery store and like, oh shit, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Right? Like, get out of here.
So we've got some events coming up in the. It feels like forever away, but really it's going to hit us
It's coming up.
super quick.
Yeah.
Freedom Weekend.
Yeah.
June 8th and 9th, right?
Looking for sponsors.
10th anniversary. It's crazy to say that.
Hopefully, grand opening.
Grand reopening.
That's what I mean.
We like Bob's Burgers, which is like grand
Yeah. The
reopening.
businesses around us are disappearing. Great names on the businesses, though.
So funny.
We will be very soon having a steel beam over here, one of the rafter pieces, one of the main like 94-foot long dealios. And we'll have some days set aside, maybe like a week, hopefully, where people can come out and sign it. And you'll be able to sign this beam kind of just as like a good luck, well wishes for us. And
Like a cast.
yeah. And it'll be put up on like in position where you'll be able to see it. It'll be like on the inside beam, on the inside side of it. So yeah, look for when we put that out there that you can come by and where it is and stuff. And what's that?
You talk about the sponsorship or the tiers you've been working on.
Do
I don't know enough about it.
We're working on a Kickstarter. We definitely have gone all in on this rebuild, and I think if you stop down here anytime lately, you can see that building is going to be something else. So we, like I said, kind of have definitely gone like all in on the building, and we need a little bit of help to finish out the range, like the baffles, the backstop, the target retrievers, things like that. So we're going to be doing like a Kickstarter, like a membership drive type of thing. And we haven't confirmed it yet, so I don't want to really say, but there was like a really cool aviation show in Batavia last year that maybe we're going to partner up with.
Maybe.
We'll see here. That's kind of the plan right now. But yeah, we're going to have from like $5 to 5,000, like anywhere in between, maybe even a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a business that is pro two-way and wants to advertise in the finest indoor range in Western New York, let us know. We're looking for like lane sponsors where they would like, this would be the Triple O lane, or this would be the Thompson lane or whatever. So hit us up. We're looking for some corporate partners for that.
Or the corrosion products and equipment.
There you go. Yeah. What's
Grind hard.
Yeah.
GHA Services. It'll be Black Wall Tech Andrews for you, John.
there you go.
Well, actually, he's
There
not
you go.
seeing it. He's on Facebook, but
Victoria.
Victoria.
Just said hi.
Yeah.
His wife just said hi.
Oh, did he?
Boom.
Victoria.
See? Yeah.
John said that you had to message me or Maria, so this is a public announcement to
everyone.
message my wife. And if you're watching, Maria, I love you.
So,
Aw.
oh.
He just proposed. All right.
Ben, what?
We Ben did that.
Cool. Got anything else? I don't have anything else.
No, I got some open enrollment classes coming up in April, May, June, all the way through the month of November.
No July.
Oh, yeah, one July.
Okay.
100%.
Making
I
sure.
said all the way through the month of November. We're going to be, I got to figure out a way to post those, but we'll be getting some links up for you guys soon. So hopefully we get some people registered. We're going to have some concealed carry pistol classes, some pistol fundamental classes. We'll be doing a couple of carbine classes, and later on in the year, there'll be some low light stuff going down too.
Does
So
anybody need those?
I really want to get back into the emergency first aid fundamentals classes. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. I'm trying to gauge the interest right now because I don't know how successful those would actually be, but we've done well with those. In the
Even
past.
just like a stop and speed class.
Yeah, I think
Team up with
something like
Red
that.
Cross.
Yeah,
Let
we
you know if you're watching. We know you're watching.
Tom's always
Nobody's
there for
claimed their
us.
tourniquet yet.
If you don't take it, then you don't take it. No one else will.
We're just gonna put it on like while you're sleeping
Yeah.
one night. Just wake up, leg just purple.
If you sleep that well,
That's not my leg. No.
I want that disorder.
Like, wow, we went hard on the live stream.
Yeah.
No, not again, guys.
That's like
Oh.
R. You get drunk at the party with your shoes
Sorry.
on. You just wake up with a tourniquet on both your legs for like 6 hours. You are now disabled forever. Like, just lost both of your legs at a party.
Oh.
All
right,
Yep.
well.
Well, great stream.
Thank you, everybody.
Great stream, guys.
Have a good night.
Hold on to that foreskin.